welcome back to the Pittsburgh Sports Saviors. It is November 26, 2023, about 5:53. The Steelers game ended a couple hours ago now at this point. They had a 16-10 win over the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm here with Lee. How you doing, Lee?
I'm doing all right, bud. How you doing, my man?
Pretty good. And then we have our special guest, John Bad Will Moser. John, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Nice.
I just want to start off by saying that I hate sports talk and that I hate the two of you.
Thanks.
So this will be good.
I hope we have a good time then.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the show.
So, Lee, I guess we'll start off with some stats. You said you got some stats for the game? We'll go over
I got some stats.
Oh, this will go on for 45 minutes.
I got some stats for this game. And then I just kind of want to compare it to last week's Browns game just to kind of show a little bit of a difference how the week has gone. So final score again today, Steelers over the Bengals 16-10. Total yards was 421 yards. We finally beat our drought.
It only took
total yards in a game.
It's like we got rid of Canada and then immediately it's silly.
It's silly. It really
is.
So 421 total yards for the Steelers to 222 for the Bengals. Last week against the Browns, the Steelers had 249 total yards and the Browns had 259. So it's definitely 200, almost a 200-yard difference right there between those two games. First downs in this game today, 22 for the Steelers. Wow, 22 versus 10 for the Bengals. Last week in the Browns, we only had 12 and the Browns had 20. So 10. Wow, I mean, a lot more plays down the field, a lot more first downs. Definitely moving.
Goes to show you, move the chains.
Yeah. You see what happens. Happens. Yeah. Net rushing yards for today. Steelers 153 to the Bengals 25. The D line showed up for the running game today. Last week against the Browns, we had 172 and the Browns at 96. So definitely better stopping the run and about the same amount of rushing yards on the offensive line. And the rushers have definitely picked up over the past couple weeks. Passing yards, this is ready for this one. This is a real big one. 268 passing yards for the Steelers. I mean, I don't know when Kenny has done that in the past. It's been a while. To the Bengals, 197. Last week against the Browns, Kenny only had 77 passing yards.
Yeah.
That's almost 200-yard difference.
I think he had more in the first quarter than he had all last week.
Yeah, I think so. And the Browns had 163 last week. Third down efficiency, which this was fantastic as well. 8 for 17, just a little under 50%. I mean, it was just they were moving the ball. It wasn't like the 3 and outs that we're used to seeing. To the Bengals, 2 for 10 on third down. Last week against the Browns, 3 for 14. Browns were 4 for 17. Turnovers this week was 1 for 1. We got an interception on defense, and then there was a fumble by Jaylen Warren. Last week against the Browns, we had no turnovers. But we did have an interception against the Browns. Time possession. This is really amazing as well. 37 minutes and 17 seconds this week against the Bengals. To the Bengals, 22 minutes and 43 seconds. Last week against the Browns, 28 minutes and 33 seconds. To the Browns, 31 minutes and 27 seconds. Sorry. I mean, almost a 10-minute time possession just jump right there. I mean, that's just amazing. Just from the beginning of the game, that first play over the middle of the field, I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was just
that was great.
I haven't seen.
Yeah.
It's
just a standard over the middle pass to the tight end, and it was exciting.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, it's crazy the difference. It's almost comical how much changed early on and immediately. Now that you have Canada out of the way. Can he look like a quarterback? Can he look like an NFL quarterback? Which is crazy after the last few weeks where he just looked like completely lost.
He did have some bad throws today.
It's gonna happen. I mean, he's not gonna be. He's not an all pro by any stretch. But I mean, the pass to Johnson along the sidelines. That was amazing. Those two were great.
But even some throws that were like caught weren't in the position where you would want them to be. Do you know what I mean? It was like a guy in stride where he would catch it behind, where you would want him to catch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna take what I can get. I don't know. Maybe there are still some bad signs. I thought it was, especially early on, he was on the money with even the drop by Johnson was on the like where you would want it to be. I thought he looked good. I missed the fourth quarter, so because I was in the car driving home and we had lost service.
Well, I did take some notes.
Let me go through the scoring summary real quick for the first half, and then we'll go on for your notes next. Okay.
I drew Snorlax during the commercial break.
Nice. That's a pretty good Snorlax.
Yeah, Thanks,
let me put that up. Let me put that on the big screen. Come on. Come on, bring it up.
Throw him up there.
Yeah.
There he is. There he is. There he is.
So yeah, anyway, there was no scoring in the first quarter, but the Steelers were able to open up the scoring with a field goal for Boswell, 41 yards out, and then immediately gave up a touchdown back to make it 7-3. That was the end of the scoring in the first half. It's crazy how many yards they had in the first half, and then we're still down 7-3 at halftime. It was a little scary there, I would say. But how were you two feeling at the half? John, you can go ahead.
I was confident. Oh, sorry.
No, you go. You're good.
I thought you said Lee. Go ahead.
Nah, I said John.
Oh, okay.
maybe that tinfoil's doing something there.
This is so the CIA doesn't read my mind. Lets me speak freely on the podcast.
Okay.
But no, I was very confident in the after the first half. I thought we were able to move the ball well. This is why I hate sports talk. We got this. What the fuck? No, but we were able to move the ball well. Made a field goal. We had that turnover that was stupid. So what are you gonna do? But Lee,
how were you feeling at half?
We opened it up a little bit. For
sure. Lee, how you feeling at half?
I was thinking this was going to be like the Browns game at first.
Oh, really?
You don't challenge, because so you don't challenge the touchdown because even Gene Steratore, he got on there and said that it should have been a touchdown, and they don't challenge it. And so
I thought that any type of play like that is immediately challenged. Do you know what I mean?
So the way it works is that if they would have called it a touchdown, that's automatically challenged. But since it's scoring plays and turnovers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Since it wasn't technically a scoring play.
Yeah.
No review.
Okay.
I did listen to
me, it looked like a touchdown.
Yeah, I listened to Tomlin postgame. He said that they didn't get a chance to see a replay. They said that's like the stadium didn't do a replay, and then no one upstairs got to see it either. So he said he just didn't have enough time to do it. That was his reasoning behind it.
And Tomlin is notoriously bad at challenging plays and winning the challenges.
I just love the fact that we use timeouts like they're candy any other time, but in that situation, no.
Yeah.
Let's not take a second. Let's just go on to the next play.
Yeah, but anyway, I did at first, like, that first play, I'm like, oh, wow, this is a difference. They're going over the middle of the field. I'm thinking, and then nobody's scoring. I'm thinking, like, man, we should have already scored against them already. We fumble the ball, and you see Deontay Johnson just standing there and not doing anything.
Big effort play by Deontay.
Yeah, real big effort there. It's just like, come on, man. And he's over there complaining, and he's dropping balls when and it's just like, come on, man, what are you doing? And it just, when it was 7-3, I was just like, man, I don't know. I hope the second half is a lot better because the score should have been 17-7. It really should have. But it wasn't, and I was a little concerned in that first half. I really was.
So the second half, they went back and forth for a little with no scoring, and then with minute 34 left in the third, we got a touchdown from Najee, 5-yard run, making it 10-7. And then at this point, I lost my coverage pretty much until the 2-minute warning. So, but I see we got a Boswell field goal with like 8 minutes left. and then another field goal. I saw this one with like 2:50 left to make it 16-7, and then
his second field goal was ugly.
It was still down the middle, though, right? Am I crazy?
No.
The second one was
like he missed
cutting it
Oh,
close.
you mean, okay, so the second of his three, or the
Yeah.
second one before.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
second of his three. I missed that one. That's the one I missed.
Oh,
yeah, that one it looked like he almost missed.
Yeah, it was
but
like,
it went in. What are you gonna?
It went in, but it was barely like
yeah.
right at
Well, yeah. When he came out for the third one, I was like, because you usually you're like, oh, he's automatic, but for the third one, I was like, oh,
yeah. I missed out on that.
The third one was perfect.
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
Yeah.
They got another field goal at the end. With about 2:09 or so.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something right before the half or before the 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning. Yeah.
Pickens recovers the onside kick that ends the game there.
Yeah.
Steelers get the 16-10 win. What you guys think of that second half? I started with John last time. Let's start with Lee here. What were you thinking of the second half?
I after the second half, I was like, okay, this is definitely a different team, but I was still just concerned with that defense. I mean, it's just like there was times where it felt like Browning was going to torch us at some point, and they were missing tackles at some points, and I was starting to get a little concerned. But when we got some of those sacks, and then we held them, and they didn't score again, and we got the interception. I was like, okay, this is definitely. We definitely have this now. It would have been better to score than to kick the field goals, because they get that onside kick. You don't know what's going to happen, you know? So, it was definitely a different team in the second half. It's just what they've been doing all season. They're definitely a different team in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter. But I thought it was going to be close, but I thought we were going to pull it out for a win in that second half.
Yeah, I really like the way that they were able to make it a little more comfortable than usual. But at the end, of course, you still have to get the onside kick. Mm-hmm. But John, what were you thinking?
Well, let me refer to my notes.
Yeah, go to your notes real quick.
All right. The run game wasn't great. But we didn't have all that crap where the guys get tackled for loss of yards. Like that happens every fucking game.
Yeah.
I thought Browning played fantastic.
Yeah,
he wasn't bad. You got to
no.
So a couple of his plays though were tip passes that Chase was able to find. A lot of his yardage was like that.
That's another thing I wrote down was guys that are really good like Chase. Am I yelling?
You're good.
Okay. Guys like Chase have a horseshoe up their asshole.
You know what they say? You know what they say about luck, right, Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luck is when opportunity meets skill or something like that. Preparation.
Well,
opportunity means preparation.
Lynn Swan said that the game will give you opportunities, and it's up to you what you do with them.
Uh-huh.
But 2 tip balls he caught. One of them he took for a lot of yards.
Yeah.
The first one. Yeah. So, I mean, that's like weird. That always happens as star players. There's some lucky thing happens, and it's like, what the hell? Tom Brady, that happened to all the time. All right. Browning wasn't only – he was good even at, like sensing the pressure and getting out of the pocket and making plays,
Yeah, except for that Herbig
and avoiding – what was that?
That Herbig sack where he like goes out of the pocket and just he like froze. I feel like
and
just got crushed.
Well, look, he's not a starter. All right.
Yeah.
We can't all be Charlie Batch.
Oh no.
Here's another stat that they were putting over on the television program. Pickett was 1 for 5 under pressure in the pocket. But when he was able to get out of the pocket, his numbers are like way better. He was like 8 for 8 or something. So it's like, obviously, if he can get out of the pocket and maneuver, he can make a play. But if he's going to be under pressure in the pocket, that means he's surrounded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you want him to do?
Yeah.
Did I write anything else stupid down? He had some really bad throws. But, Okay, Pat Fryermuth came in today and crushed.
He had
what
60
happened?
yards. He had 60 yards through 5 games.
And now today he had 9 catches for like 120.
120. He doubled his output.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I don't think the game felt like sloppy. Like you know how some of these games you watch and you're like depressed.
It was a quick game. Yeah, it was a quick game, and I think that's what there weren't.
Yeah.
How many penalties? I can see if I can look up the team stats real fast.
Not many penalties at all.
Yeah.
No.
But
each team had 5. Each team had 5 penalties.
I think we're
yards for the Steelers,
equally
the Bengals.
We're in the same like talent level, you know. And it was a good. Even some of these games this year we've had have been so ugly. Even some of the games we won, and it's like just so sloppy. And then the fourth quarter, Pickett can turn it on every now and again. But some of these games are so ugly. But I felt like this was a good game all around for both teams.
Yeah.
I think both teams aren't the worst, but they're not great.
I feel bad. I just don't see how the Bengals can make it to the playoffs now. They're 5-6.
No,
I think their season's over,
especially in this division.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how good the Browns were. Like the Browns are 5-1 under Deshaun.
Without him or with him?
With him, they're 5-1.
He's gone for the year.
With Deshaun Clinton.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
They're losing right now. They're losing right now to the Broncos, 14-12. Ravens play tonight. I haven't watched too much of the Broncos Browns yet. Have you guys had a chance to see any of the first half at all?
I saw when the score was 14-0. I saw a little bit.
They're coming back, so we'll see what happens.
Because they did look sloppy at first in that first quarter that I saw, and into the second quarter, the Browns looked sloppy. I mean, the Broncos were having their way with their defense. You know, that's what it looked like. You know, to me, yeah.
Najee had a great game.
Najee did have a good game.
He made some plays early on that were like a tone setter, I think, for the
How
offense.
about that run where he looks like he stopped, but then he gets like an extra
he carried
15?
the whole team into the 10 yards or so.
Yeah. He was doing I have it on my notes here, guys. Shades of Jerome Bettis in the fourth quarter. Where you would hand him the ball and he would just bruise people that are tired, you know? Like a great power back.
Yeah,
that's what Najee is.
Yeah, it was another nice mix, I think, between the two. It was 15 carries for Najee. Jalen had 13 for 49. Not as explosive as he has been, but he's still a solid game for your number 2 back.
He had a couple good runs though.
Yeah, but Najee stepped up for sure. Najee definitely this was definitely his game where he stepped up and he made some better runs. You know, it was definitely good to see him. He looked like he had a fire in his eyes when the camera was on him. You know, and after a run, I mean, he looked really good today.
A couple of
good.
A couple of his runs. Oh fuck!
It's nice that when someone like him, he made his comments post game last week, and then he came out and actually showed up and did something. That hasn't been something that this team's had. There's a lot of guys who talk, and then the next week they're shitty again. I mean, I made the comments about Deontay Johnson looking like he was just didn't care last week. And it turned like his energy was low, I think is the way I described. And then it turns out that him and Minka ended up arguing after the game. And then this week he comes out and the play is all over the internet now. That fumble. He totally gave up on the play. I think it's Hendrickson for the Bengals was like about to block him and he realized he wasn't even doing anything. So he like touched him and then moved on to block somebody else. It was it was bad to see. But Najee was the opposite, I think. John, what were you saying? What were you thinking about?
I was saying a couple of his runs I thought were Warren. I was like, oh yeah, and then I was like, oh, that's number 22. Oh, okay.
The extras. Yeah, it was.
He's gonna
was the spark plug this week.
He wants to win.
Yeah, I thought is there anything you guys can think of from the coordinators that was obvious? The over the middle early was something
how about
for
the
sure.
uses of the tight ends? My goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, how about that? I mean, wow. I mean,
huge difference.
It wasn't just Freiermuth, it was all of them. I mean,
Washington, yeah.
Washington and
Hayward had a couple.
Hayward had a couple.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hayward had a couple catches.
But I mean, Freiermuth. I mean, my goodness, the play it was just perfect. You know,
I mean, the boys back.
Yeah, he had himself a game. Just the use of the middle of the field, the use of the tight
different
ends,
pass catchers. 8 different pass catchers, and then 5 of them had multiple catches. So it was definitely spread out.
Wow. Wow.
Looking
Took some
through
shots
here,
down the
anything
field.
else?
I mean, that was nice.
Yeah.
And we're successful in like half of them.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like there were no turn. I mean, besides there was one like fumble, like a freak fumble. Shit happens.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't any like a horrible Pickett interception or anything like that. You know.
He now has the Steeler record. I think it's over 207 attempts without an interception now.
Yeah.
Pickett.
Yeah.
Over Neil O'Donnell.
Over Neil O'Donnell even.
Who seriously, in all seriousness, has like one of the lowest interception percentages of all time.
I wasn't aware of that. Yeah, but
yeah,
it was Ben's record.
Yeah,
it was Ben's record that he broke, the 207 attempts. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, look at that.
Yeah.
I thought Pickett played well in the most part, out of the pocket when he could extend the. It's like a Ben thing though. It's like you don't want to. He's nothing like Ben, but you know when he can extend the play, he has a lot of success.
Yeah, and he did it a little last year, I think, and he played well, I think today. I think people will be off his back as long as he doesn't lay an egg next week.
Yeah.
Pickens had 3 catches, 58 yards, a little more active. He doesn't seem to be moping at all, which is nice to see. We got to figure out what's going to happen with Johnson. I don't know if they see the film on that play, what's going to happen, if there's going to be any kind of backlash internally. I know when it happened, people were like commenting on how like Okafor lost his job for making comments. And now you have Johnson who just gave up on a play. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, the camera people after the play love to cut to like a guy that's like open and like calling for the ball. Oh, and he didn't see him. But that's I think that's like carryover from the Roethlisberger Brown drama. You know what I mean? Because I think that happens almost every play. Because whenever the one where Pickett dropped back and he went over his first read, and they were all covered on this side of the field, and then on the other side of the field, Freiermuth's like, calling for the ball. But there were guys coming in, and I think they either sacked him or he had to throw it away or something. So it's like, shut up.
Exactly.
We're trying to start problems.
When things are going well, those things aren't shown. And like you're saying, when there's drama, that gets shown. That turns into a story.
Yeah.
He has his thing that he's going over first, and then he can. But if he doesn't have time to go to the second read, there's nothing you can do. You know, guys like Brady and Manning had all the time in the world because they had some of the best offensive lines in the world, and Pickett doesn't have that. You know.
Yeah. I will say really quick, Pickens. I feel like he really wants to win too. When he extended for that one, he tried to dive and make that catch that was out of his reach. That goes to show he's actually trying to play the game and not.
Exactly.
Oh, sure.
You know, he wants to win. You know what I mean? You know, that was. You love to see that because a lot of players will just give up on it. You know what I mean? But he actually.
He
wants to make a play.
He wants
to be on Sports Center.
What about Trenton Thompson with his interception? He seems number 17. He seems to be playing all right and his opportunity. It was nice to see.
The past 2 weeks he's made some plays. You know?
That ball was thrown like right to him though.
Hey, you got to make the plays. Come on, I mean, there's a lot of.
I don't think it was thrown to him. I don't think it was thrown to him directly because he did watch the replay.
He jumped the route.
Somebody else.
He did jump the route. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was not. But I'm saying, you know, it wasn't a great throw. He didn't think about it much.
I mean, I'll take it. I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's an interception. We haven't had.
And it was like in the red zone or in the area, you know.
Driving,
yeah.
What else are you thinking about, Lee? What else is on your mind for this game?
How about the sacks? Of course, TJ.
4 sacks total.
Herbig had a sack, and Hayward. I predicted he would have a big game. He did have a sack.
Yeah.
I remember that from last week's episode. You said that, and whenever he got the sack, I was like, "Lee's gonna fucking bring that up."
Maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but anytime we have a good game against the run, I'm immediately going to say it's because of Hayward. So we also stopped the run.
Absolutely.
Mixon didn't have a great game.
I think they the defensive line, they stepped up today. Like I said, a total of 25 rushing yards for the Bengals. So it was definitely a big difference from last week.
Yeah, Mixon got 8 carries for 16 yards. Only 8 carries when they were in the lead at half, and for the most of the third quarter they were in the lead. They only gave him 8 carries for the game.
And his big play was a catch.
Yeah, late.
It was like an open field thing where a running back's gonna do better in an open field situation than like a receiver.
Yeah, I'm just looking over their stats. Chase had 4 for 81, which isn't. I mean, for Jamar Chase, it's not something earth-shattering. I thought Porter played well for the most part. They
what are you gonna do? He had a good deflection somewhere in there. I don't remember where.
Yeah,
but he did get embarrassed. But it was Jamar Chase.
Yards. That was a 31-yard play, I think, that tip ball, and then he had a real nice catch on the sideline where Porter got
right over Porter.
Yeah,
he
lost the ball, I think. But
Porter wasn't. Porter was playing Chase. He wasn't aware.
He wasn't playing the ball.
And Chase is an amazing player.
Ball,
he just caught the ball, and that was that.
Yeah, it was not bad at all, I think.
Yeah.
Those 2 tip passes, those could have been picks. And
if those are picks, it's a way different game. Even next week, guys. What we got going on next week?
I forget who we play.
Week 13, we got the Cardinals at 1 o'clock in Pittsburgh. They are currently, let me see what they're doing right now.
2-9, I think, or like 2-8.
They're losing 24-8 to the Rams right now.
They stink.
2-9. They got Murray back, but I guess he's not playing too well today. At least I haven't got a chance to watch the actual game. But 24-8.
First game back.
Yeah. No, he's I think the third game back, right?
I think it's his third.
His third game back.
Well then they suck.
The Rams haven't been great, but you go ahead, Lee.
I'm sorry. I still think that we got to be prepared for Kyler Murray because he can run the ball and he is still a pretty decent quarterback. I mean, somebody to kind of watch out for next week.
For the most part, the defense does well against running quarterbacks, I think. Most specifically Lamar. What Lamar does against the Steelers compared to everyone else is crazy.
Yeah.
It's day and night.
Well, I'm sure before every game, they're like, hey, look, we're playing the Steelers this week. Get your shit together. Have the best game of your life. I'm sure every Steeler game is like a playoff game for them. And the same for us.
Pitt basketball has this stretch where they've gone against guys who aren't 3-point shooters. That they'll go and play Pitt, and they'll go 5 for 8 from 3, and then the next game they go back to normal. They'll go 1 of fucking 7. But it just happens to be against Pitt every once in a while. These just random players.
These things happen.
Oh yeah.
Rivalry games,
Oh yeah, the big Cardinals.
Anything can happen.
Former Super Bowl, I guess. Super Bowl matchup.
Yeah.
Snorlax.
There he is. What's Snorlax got to say about the game? What's he got to say?
Don't do that.
He probably slept through the game.
I will say I'm happy we got the win because this is one of the games that I kind of thought we might lose, but I am happy though that we came out with a victory in Cincinnati to keep us alive in that divisional race.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the divisional race, and I think playoffs are looking a lot brighter today than they were 8 days ago. Yeah, I'd say we were all pretty much getting a little worried. And then the injury to Burrow, they're pretty much out. Houston lost today, which is nice, wild card wise. I think we're sitting at like the 6th seed now, depending on what happens with Cleveland and later on today. But it'll be fun to see what happens going on. But I think we can win. John, you got something?
I had something to say.
All right.
Go ahead.
I was just curious, did he start doing Pfizer commercials before he dated Taylor Swift or after?
I think it was after, but it was close. It was close in proximity for sure. Like he probably filmed them before the season, I would hope. I don't think he's filming mid-season, right?
I just want to know the chicken before the egg. You know what I mean? Just the fact that he's doing commercials for Pfizer and he's dating Taylor Swift, who we all know is demonic.
How's your hat feeling? You have tinfoil on your head, and you have the second worst fucking head. But I guess
there's a lot to think about.
I guess it's a good point to wrap it up at, though. Lee, any final thoughts?
No, I'm happy for a win, and I'm ready to see you in a couple days to kind of go over the Cardinals game.
John, I'm pretty sure you're going to have a final thought, and I'm pretty sure I know what it's going to be, but go ahead, bud.
Well, my final thoughts are I think I'm more hopeful than you guys.
Not right now. I'm pretty hopeful now. That game changed a lot for me. I think playoffs are a lot.
We didn't get in the end zone as much as we'd like.
But they were moving the ball.
I thought we moved the ball a lot better, and I thought there were some big plays, and there were some exciting plays, and there were some good running plays, you know?
Yeah.
And it was like
it's like 4 weeks straight now. The running game has been solid. The running game's there.
Yeah. And also, I wanted to say that 9/11 was an inside job. What do you have, Jen? What do you have for us, buddy?
Guys, have a good night, everyone.
Yeah.